AEW, in a rarity for them, it pains me to say, did some bad booking.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Ollie Davis. I'm joined for the first time ever. It's me and Sully. It's Sullivan Bo Brown.
Hello. It's so lovely to be here.
Hi, Sully.
Hey, how you doing?
Everybody say hi, Sullivan.
Hello.
Yeah. Of course, subscribe, press the thumbs up button, leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on this main event segment of Dynamite, and get in your Omegachats to WrestleTalk.com/support or read out every one of them over $5 or more by the end of the show. But our opening topic is sort of like the last half hour of this episode, which was probably one of the worst half hours of Dynamite they've ever done.
Yeah.
It started with this Varsity Blondes promo and a Julia Hart. Well, it felt like she just hung around for a segment longer than she should have.
Yes, I don't know why she was still in the ring afterwards.
The angle was over.
It didn't make any sense. It was like she didn't know where to go back to.
Yeah. Like there's sometimes I'm like, oh wow, what an interweaving universe.
Yeah.
Everything overlaps and interconnects. But this time I was like, I think Julia got lost.
She doesn't know where she is. She's seen everything with only one eye for so long.
It's the depth perception. She's trying to get out of the ring, but the ropes. My lady partner. This is a disgusting story. Makes me cringe. She went to the dentist once, and there is a 1 in 1,000 chance that the dentist will hit a nerve in your cheek, and it happened to her. And just for a couple of hours, whole side of the face went numb, and they put an eye patch over her eye. Not because like her eye was in danger, just but because like her eye would droop, and it would look weird in the street.
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, don't worry about it. This happens. She walks back. She goes to press the crossing button of the traffic lights. Cannot get it. Because there's no depth perception.
Oh, that's
I had to
amazing.
go downstairs and get the lift for her. Anyway.
That's brilliant.
This is kind of separate. This is when the show started to fall apart. Then we actually got a banging match, which we'll talk about later.
Oh, match of the night.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Dante Martin versus Rey Fenix. And then we got an excellent John Silver promo against CM Punk.
Loved it. Short and sweet.
Yeah, it had all the blue Smarties. He was very excited.
Yeah.
And then we got 2 segments to close the show. The first of which was an on-ramp, top of the entrance ramp promo with Thunder Rosa first. She comes out and she, pretty one-dimensional material.
Yep.
I'm the best women's wrestler in the world. I want to make AEW women's wrestling the best in the world. And I would travel everywhere to watch Serena Deeb wrestle when I was coming up.
Yeah.
Calls her out. This is going to be the title program at the pay-per-view. Serena Deeb says some stuff back, and the crowd are pretty flat.
Yeah, because they've not built up to this at all. I mean, who cares? Oh, great. You can't have 2 people constantly agreeing if they're meant to be in conflict. Yeah, this is all going to be great. I felt like it was AEW somewhat saying like, don't stop criticizing us, please. We're trying, but I don't think they are trying very hard, and they're not doing very well.
Well, do we give them the benefit of the doubt? And let's just say AEW are trying really hard, because you can't deny they gave them that promo in front of the live crowd, main evented with a women's match, but they're not very good at it.
That's what it is. That's what it is, yeah.
So, is this like a nefarious plot where AEW want to destroy women's wrestling? Of course it is.
No.
I'm starting to think they're just not very good at booking it.
Yeah, but why? Why? It can't be that much harder than booking. It's going to be the same as booking the men's division. Why is it different?
There's no differences between biological gender.
No.
We all know that.
But why not? Why not just build it up in it with the same tenacity? Thunder Rosa is amazing.
Yeah,
you could do so much with her. Serena Deeb's really great. They're both brilliant wrestlers. You could do so much with them, but I just don't feel like there's no heat for this match.
Yeah, hopefully it will build, and I think part of it is because Serena Deeb, a lot of her momentum has come from when she caught fire in November.
Yeah.
With the Shida feud, and then there was the challenge, and like, oh yeah, this is good. And but that was actually 5 months ago, maybe even 6.
Yeah.
She had a few wins since then, like in recent months, but it's not enough to recapture that. And with Rosa, again, hasn't actually had a story, a meaty one, since winning the title. And I love Thunder Rosa. I'm so happy she's champion. But her in-ring promos don't seem to work as well as when it's a pre-recorded one and she's shouting at the camera. I think those are great. But whenever she comes out in front of the live crowd, because we've had this about 3-4 weeks in a row now where she does it, just doesn't connect.
Yeah, and the crowd want to like it as well. They're with her, but they got nothing to react to.
Do you know something I picked up on when they were having their tete-a-tete?
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa kept speaking in the pauses. Did you notice this?
No, I didn't notice this.
So Serena Deeb is saying, like, I want to make women's wrestling the best there is. And Rosa would go in the break, yeah. And Deeb would go, I'm better than you. I'm next level. And Thunder Rosa would say, that's your opinion. Like she's always trying to have. It's like, no, this isn't a conversation.
No, you're meant to be. It's like a speech. You're meant to be like riling up the crowd as if they're like, trying to get them on your side. Imagine if just like a presidential debate. I suppose you would get these nowadays, maybe, but presidential debate where somebody was just constantly, they were just constantly heckling each other midway through.
Yeah, like what does Biden do? That? Oh man.
Oh man.
Oh brother, no. But whatever.
Yeah.
Hopefully it gets better. They can have a proper angle next week.
Yeah.
That, in conjunction with the actual main event, is what really sort of, to me, exposed this bad approach that AEW have towards the women's division. And that is, the main event was Deonna Purrazzo versus Mercedes Martinez. This was to unify the Women's Ring of Honor Championships. Mercedes Martinez won it at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Deonna Purrazzo was the existing champion, but she couldn't make that show. Still don't know why.
Yeah, very odd.
Anyway, they have this match, and the crowd do not really react. They're not booing it. They're not like being douchebags, but let's be honest, Mercedes Martinez has had 4 matches on Dynamite or Rampage since she debuted in December. Deonna Purrazzo has never appeared on AEW. And she does great work on Impact. She's a great wrestler. But, she was sort of a background player in NXT and barely on WWE main roster. It's not like she's got this big audience.
Yeah.
So 2 people who the audience really have no connection to, with no no blood feud emotional story, for another promotion's title. Bearing in mind, no disrespect intended. I'm just saying this as I see the matter. The Women's Ring of Honor Championship was never like a big thing. That's like something that happened in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Sort of begrudgingly, I've always thought, like, as if New Japan were to introduce a women's championship. It's not sort of part of their history or DNA. So they're feuding against another company's championship that isn't actually that prestigious, or it hasn't been built up to the level of something else. And they, have an okay match, I thought. Not the level of a normal main event.
Absolutely. And I think what you need is at least a couple of weeks, at least like 2 or 3 weeks of build up where you have Mercedes Martinez coming out and parading herself as the Ring of Honor Women's Champion and maybe talking about how she wants to take on the AEW Women's Division and all this and the other. And then Donna Purrazzo.
I say Purrazzo.
Purrazzo. You're right.
Could be wrong, though.
You're right. I had it written down on my notes and then they've gone off the screen and I couldn't remember her name. Donna Purrazzo coming out and then challenging her and going like, you're not the Ring of Honor. That's all you need. I've done it. I've fixed the storyline for you. And that has instantly way more context. Otherwise, it's just a match. And you don't know. I had no idea about the fact that there was two championships. I was just like, oh, is this just a separate women's championship that was sort of like maybe a different weight class?
This is really interesting because last week I was saying stuff like this. Like, I think AEW need to, it's not a problem yet, but be wary of having too many championships. They've not really been built up with video packages or anything. And Luke was like, oh, Ollie, there's no such thing as a casual fan. But you're not really watching Ring of Honor, especially not over the last couple of years.
Oh, 100%. No, yeah. Ever since AEW came along, I've not paid attention to Ring of Honor at all.
So you had no idea?
Yeah.
There was an undisputed championship thing to take place anyway.
No, yeah. It was just suddenly, okay, it's to unify the championships. Okay, I don't know what this is, but all right.
And did they do enough in the match to get you sort of hooked in?
Not really. But I enjoyed the match. It was fine.
It was a fine match.
It was a fine match, absolutely fine. But without any context, it's just another match. It's just another match. If I don't know why the people in the match are fighting and why they are having some kind of dispute, then without the conflict, it's just two people fighting, and that can be entertaining in and of itself, even if you don't really know why. It's got to have some kind of stakes that is and shown the importance of those stakes. I don't know how important the Ring of Honor Women's Championship is now, given the state of Ring of Honor in its relationship with AEW and everything. I don't know whether really is that seen as a secondary title to the AEW's Women's Championship. I don't really know. I need these things clarified, otherwise I can't get invested. I think for me, if you don't build up that story, then it's just another match. It's just another match, and I could be watching anyone wrestling.
I totally agree. So I'm just going to play devil's advocate because we do have examples of AEW just chucking stuff on screen and everyone going, "Oh my god, that was actually mind blowing."
Yeah.
So plenty of occasions where we've had unknowns come in and steal the show.
Yeah.
Because they just put on an amazing match.
Yes.
And more recently, in terms of the Ring of Honor stuff, you had Samoa Joe come on the week after the ROH pay-per-view and defend his TV title against Minoru Suzuki. Huge reaction. Awesome. Interestingly, did not do well in the ratings.
Really?
So I don't know what that says, but that's just that's a little data point that maybe should be paid attention to. But for those don't work for me because, first off, I don't think the women had the kind of match they needed to have to get people who had no idea about the situation into it.
Yeah.
It was only 10 minutes long. 3-4 minutes of that was in commercial.
Yep.
Just not long enough, really. And Purrazzo is a wrestler who, she takes time to tell stories. And a lot of the early parts of her matches are, not boring, but they are building.
Yeah.
But with the Ring of Honor TV title, it's Suzuki and Joe.
Yeah.
I think that is a level of star power outside of AEW that is instantly recognizable.
Exactly. Because even if you don't know, even if you are a relatively, a really casual wrestling fan, you've just picked up some WWE stuff, let's say, and you don't know who Suzuki is, you know who Samoa Joe is. And, he's such a huge star and he's such an imposing presence. And then you see Suzuki, and Suzuki just looks terrifying. He just looks so scary. Which is a remarkable thing because I've never seen anyone be scary because their hair is scary.
Yeah.
But he does have scary hair.
I remember when he had his hair versus hair match. I think it was against Goto. And I was like, oh no, they're going to shave Suzuki's head. And they shaved his head. And I was like, oh my God, he's scarier. Because he was just sitting there smiling. No, I think he shaved his own head. He grabbed it off of the person and just started shaving. It's like, this was the opposite of what was meant to happen.
This is meant to be humiliating, but it's made you more powerful. I think it's not comparable because I don't think that even a casual WWE viewer, they might recognize Purrazzo, but I will they be that invested comparatively to Samoa Joe, who had a not incredible main roster run, but certainly a really good NXT run, and then and he was certainly a presence on the main roster for a long time. So yeah, I just wish this was all a bit better. I feel sorry for the women in the AEW's women's division because it could be better and it's not.
Yeah, I used the caption on the thumbnail for my other video today, set up to fail. I feel like this was like, just wait, I think this is genuinely bad booking because on paper, anyone could tell, not a lot of people could immediately see the flaws in this going ahead. And that's a mistake AEW rarely make. I know I've sort of been down on AEW over the last couple of months, but it's mostly because they're not this insanely high level that they were last year for me. But by and large, they don't do things wrong.
No,
it's just stuff that's not 100% to my taste. It's only like hitting 70 or 80. But this, I think, and the Satnam Singh thing a couple of weeks ago, like, no, that's actually bad booking.
Yes, absolutely. And it's interesting because I came out of this Dynamite really thinking like, oh, well, that was just another show that I've watched, which I don't usually feel coming out of Dynamite. I love watching Dynamite. I get very excited watching Dynamite, and I get excited every single time it started. And there will always be really good matches. There was a fantastic match in this show. There'll be really fun segments, but it was just fine. This one,
Mercedes won, by the way, if anyone was keeping track. Let's see what you all think on the Omegachats, WrestleTalk.com/support. Get them in. We'll answer every single one over $5. None of your stinking Aussie bucks. Charles Berg, that was the worst episode of Dynamite AEW have ever done. Badly booked segments, and that House of Black segment was hilarious. Brody King was wrong. House of Black is the Wish.com version of itself.
Oh, no, what does that even mean?
I've never seen something cool become goofy so fast.
That's a bit harsh.
I didn't take against House of Black that bad at all. I didn't think it was that terrible.
The only thing that confused me was I had seen earlier that it was that they were going to be calling, the Varsity Blondes were going to be calling out the House of Black. But the only thing that confused me was that I thought it was going to be a match that was going to happen, and then it was just a regular fight. Yeah, just a normal fight.
Brian Pillman called them out. They appeared, and he just went, "Oh yeah, what a baby face." The Rick Petch. I laughed at the start of the Tony, Ruby, Britt, Jamie segment, as Luke called it the other week. They just keep adding people to it, although they did also swap sides. I'm tired of this story, despite loving the talent. So, yeah, this is another thing. I would say Tony, Ruby, Britt, Jamie, they're in the top 5 of the women's division. The last month, all they've done is a 2-minute backstage talking segment with Tony Schiavone. Yeah. And it is the same thing every week.
Yep. There's the story isn't moving on. It's not happening. Like, put one of them in a match if you really want, and then you can have shenanigans. You can have people doing that, beating them down after a match or something.
Give me more shenanigans.
It'd be great to have some shenanigans. Yeah. Something to build up some heat for this, because just two people talking and going, "I don't like you." Well, I don't like you either. It's not enough. It's not a story.
Do you think they should sort of interrupt each other in the breaks?
Well, yeah.
I should say that. Brian Moore. Sully has been around the office so much that he should have had his own level in the Randy games.
Oh.
I've always thought the problem in AEW's women's division is lack of star power and experience. Most of the division had no prior TV experience like the men. I think in the early days of AEW, a lot of the male wrestlers had no TV experience either.
Yeah, 100%.
If you had to have a level in the Randy games, what would you challenge Randy at?
I would challenge penalty shootout, because
we discussed it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, because he's a goalkeeper, and I'm not very good at football.
I thought we didn't do it because you said that you'd destroy him too much.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. I'm going to give him a chance. You seen these legs? They're huge.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Randy Games 2023. It's going to Saudi Arabia. They paid us the money. Sorry.
Any of the criticism about WWE going to Saudi Arabia, that's been deleted.
The bad one, Jam Beard, I couldn't disagree more about the women. I thought the Rosa D promo was good because it felt real. Was it blow away great? No, it wasn't, but it didn't have to be. It's the same with the main event. It was a very good match that didn't need to be fantastic.
I think, you know what, that's fine if you feel that way. I'm very glad that you enjoyed it, definitely. But I personally disagree.
Yeah, same. I think it did need to. There is a quality, there is a bar you expect from a Dynamite main event.
Yeah.
And this was not it.
Yeah.
That's all the women's chats. Cool. So let's get back into the episode of Dynamite. The good stuff.
Yes.
Men. Lovely men. So it opened with Bobby Fish taking on Jeff Hardy in not a great match.
No. Not a brilliant match. And a match where I was like, I don't think either of you are going to win this tournament. So I don't really care who goes through. Like, it doesn't. I think you're going to be first round fodder for whoever you're going to be. But hey, you know, there was. Jeff Hardy's still unbelievably over just because he's Jeff Hardy. I always think that when I watch Jeff Hardy wrestle, he must have such sweaty legs.
Oh, because of the long trousers.
Because the long trousers.
Yeah.
Because I remember wearing those jeans back in the 90s when they were cool. And I suppose they come back to being cool again maybe now. They were horribly sweaty, even just walking around.
Yeah.
If you're wrestling in them, oof, that's rough.
It's going to be a drippy gooch, isn't it?
Drippy Gooch Jeff, they call it.
There was a bit in this match where Jeff did his sort of jump off the top turnbuckle and he kind of flipped and twisted in there and pretty much missed Bobby Fish. I thought Bobby Fish was really good in this match.
Yeah.
And then Fish was just like, my head. And he sold it so well.
Yep.
I believed he hit him.
Yes.
But when Hardy was in midair, you know those videos of, it's done like graphics and it's just physics failing in video games.
Yes, yeah.
That's how Jeff Hardy moves these days.
It doesn't quite work.
No. Adam Cole was on commentary, which did add a really good layer of all the members of the Elite. The Undisputed Era are going to qualify. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish.
Yeah.
And Bobby Fish had a good go at it. I thought he really came back at the end. But Jeff Hardy hit one of his...
Yeah.
Why does he hit the Swanton bombs properly these days?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
He used to gently touch them. And now he's like... It's like a belly flop when he's back.
I don't think he's got the mobility anymore, maybe.
So Jeff Hardy advances. Young Bucks came down afterwards and sort of had a stare down with the Hardys and then helped Bobby Fish.
Yeah.
So that was a nice bit of storyline progression.
Yeah, a nice little tease. This match is probably going to happen at some point. It's happened before for the Ring of Honor titles when I was watching Ring of Honor. And that was really fun. So that'd be really fun to have that again.
And also keeping the Undisputed Elite. They're still working together.
Yes.
We might as well do this now because later on in the show, it was announced that the bracket would have Jeff Hardy taking on Darby Allin. Yeah. Darby Allin was with Sting in the crowd watching on. And they cut this promo, Darby and Sting.
This wasn't a promo. How long did it last? 15 seconds?
This was... You want to do another take? No, I think we got that.
No, we got that. No, we've said everything we wanted to say.
So Darby said 3 sentences. I haven't got them here, but it's essentially, been waiting for this for a long time. Writes itself. It's going to be a special night. And that was it.
Yep.
The crux of the promo was can't be bothered.
Yeah.
And then I think Sting I was like, oh my God, I thought you were going to say something more. And he panics. And he's like, well, I know Darby's going to pull out all the stops. I know you're going to pull out all the stops. And then Sting doesn't know what to say. So he just repeats what Darby said. It's going to be a special night.
That's absolutely what happened.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what happened. It's so weird. It was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
You could have showed anything else in that time because it would have been more. Didn't mean anything.
It was a worse promo than Rosa's, I think.
Yeah, I would agree.
Do you want to have any predictions for the Owen Hart Cup? We've got all the brackets.
Yes,
now.
we've got. Well, I think Darby Allin's going over. Yeah, Darby Allin's going to beat Jeff Hardy
because the Hardys can have the match against the Bucks.
Yeah, absolutely. Who else have we got? We got.
There is Adam Cole versus Dax Harwood.
Oh, Adam Cole's going to be winning that.
I know, but I really want Dax.
I would love Dax, but I think to unless Dax is. Oh, sorry there. I accidentally clicked on my little fancy thing here. I love Dax as well, but I
agree. Cole's the spot.
Yeah, Cole's going to win. Unless it was going to be some amazing victory for Dax. That would be great, but I mean, it's not going to happen. And then we got, Ray Fenix, as we find out later on, versus
Kyle O'Reilly, I think.
Okay, well, you'd imagine Ray Fenix as well. And then Samoa Joe versus the Joker.
Yeah, exciting.
Yeah.
Any ideas for Joker?
Well, this is the thing I was trying to think. I honestly can't. I don't have the faintest clue as to who it could be. I'm trying to wrap my brain for all of the WWE releases that may have sort of like been exciting initially because they were released and we'll see them in AEW, and then it just didn't really happen, and they went and did something else, or they just didn't. They laid low for a while. But I can't think of anyone. Can you think of anyone?
Well, I don't think it's Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like the time to bring in Bray.
No.
I think whoever it is will advance because Samoa Joe, Jay Lethal can cost in the match.
Mm-hmm.
That's an already built-in story.
Yeah.
Johnny Gargano.
Oh, yes.
Makes that. Really oh, my God. And then it's Gargano Cole in the final.
Now, that'd be very good.
I didn't even think of that.
If it's Gargano, it's got to be Gargano versus Cole.
Yeah.
That'd be incredible.
Because I was also thinking O'Reilly Cole.
Yeah.
I don't really want to see that now.
Yeah.
But Gargano Cole.
Could be Gargano versus O'Reilly. O'Reilly could beat Ray Fenix.
Yeah, that's a good point. So in the semis, Gargano has to go through NXT circa 2019, 2020.
Or he has a great match with Ray Fenix. Either way, we're winning.
Either way. The other person, Cesaro.
Yeah, which would be great. He'd be great. Guess
all good shouts.
Yeah.
After that, so back at the start of the show, we got the Blackpool Combat Club.
Oh, yes.
This is kind of their slot now. We've got the opening match, and then Blackpool Combat Club have a trios squash match.
Yep.
They were excellent, as always. We had a clip of William Regal's The Scars We've Left on You promo that went up on the sort of Road 2 show the day before, which is an excellent promo.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. I love that the video is mainly William Regal beating up Wheeler Yuta. I was just thinking and he sort of justified it in the commentary, William Regal was like, well, you got to know how to take a bloody good hiding if you're going to be a professional wrestler. So I was thinking, you're just teaching him how to be beaten up. Don't lie,
That's
William.
the way it was.
Also, William Regal. Oh, sorry, no, I won't move on to the commentary yet. But yes,
no, you can go commentary.
I was just going to say on the commentary, William Regal says to Excalibur, who he just calls, what is it, Man in the Mask or something? Yeah. He just says, "You look scrumptious on your profile tonight. Scrummy, scrummy, scrummy. Ooh, ooh, ooh."
You would think that would be a disconnect in tone, wouldn't you? I'm beating up this guy.
Yeah.
I'm such a tough man.
Yeah.
As soon as he's on commentary, oh, you look lovely, darling. I read on Reddit, someone commented something like the sexual chemistry between Excalibur and William Regal is like it's as thick as vanilla cheesecake. And they want to eat all of it.
Absolutely. William Regal on commentary is one of my favourite things. He's so good because he puts over both teams as well. Like he really puts over Butcher and Blade and Angelico like absolutely brilliantly.
When he got Angelico's name right.
He did. He did. Yeah. But he was like, he talked about how he learned the British style of wrestling and things like that, and it was really it's great.
Yeah, he's fantastic. It was that no disrespect against Regal for the Angelico thing. It was just funny listening to him miss every time, which is how I usually pronounce words too. So it was like Angelico and then Angel Co. I thought, he's
Angelico.
He's wrong every time.
Angelico is my favourite.
This was a good match.
Yeah.
Butcher and Blade are awesome. And Angelico has that British sort of submission style escapology stuff that works really well with Danielson. But yeah, of course, Blackpool Combat Club won.
Yeah, of course. And I feel like they're the most sort of hot faction in AEW right now. They're the ones who they don't even have like a big feud that they're doing right now. They're just beating people up.
They're my favorite thing in wrestling, in all of wrestling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they need a story now.
Yeah.
Because the pay-per-view is 3 weeks out.
Mm-hmm.
So now's time for something proper. Wheeler Yuta, it was announced, will wrestle in the Best of the Super Juniors tournament over in New Japan, which is awesome. But that means he'll be out for about 2 weeks at the end of the month. So you got to think Moxley and Danielson will have a straight-up tag feud.
Yep.
Maybe Yuta returns last moment.
Yep, that'd be good. That'd be very good fun.
Speaking of the tag stuff, the main tag title feud right now is Jurassic Express versus Team Taz. And Jungle Boy challenged Ricky Starks for the FTW title for next week.
Yep.
So that feels to me like the tag title match is that at the pay-per-view.
I guess so, because they got no time to build up something else. I mean, I always feel like FTW matches are never like overly interesting, because I always feel like they're always it's gonna stay in Team Taz.
Yeah,
surely you don't give Jungle Boy the FTW championship. It doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
it's got to stay on Ricky Starks. So I don't know. They'll be able to put on a really good match because they're great wrestlers, but like I don't know whether I'll be as invested in the actual result, because I kind of know who's going to win.
Well, here's my addition to this, because after that, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland cut a promo and they say, we've got business, unfinished business with Team Taz. Do you think this could be a 3-way tag feud at the pay-per-view?
That'd be really great. I would love that. I'd gobble that up. Yeah, I think that'd be if that is the case, I'd be very, very happy, because and I'm glad that they didn't just drop that story, because they have been feuding for a little, they've been having quite a few matches, and I'm glad they didn't just go, oh well, I'm sure the crowd, everyone will forget it. They addressed it. It was a bit odd, but hopefully it can become a 3-way tag match at the pay-per-view. It would be great.
I think it'll be a hell of a match. Yeah. It is the second pay-per-view in a row, though, if they go that direction. This is just us speculating. Where Jurassic Express have been in a match of somebody else's feud. Because the Revolution, it was Bucks versus Red Dragon versus Jurassic Express.
Yep.
Which was all about Bucks, Red Dragon.
Yep.
This one, it's mainly Team Taz versus Lee and Strickland. And when you look at the tag division, the Hardys, the Young Bucks, Red Dragon, Danielson and Moxley, FTR.
Yeah.
These 3 teams involved around the tag titles, they're not even in the top 5 most over tag acts.
Yeah.
I think that's a...
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's a problem.
That's a serious problem. And I think they shouldn't lose the tag titles to either of these teams necessarily, but like get the belts off them, maybe. Or build them up to have a good, interesting story. Either one.
Speaking of interesting stories, something that was unequivocally fantastic.
Yeah.
Wardlow versus MJF's latest hired gun, W. Morrissey.
Oh, so good. Wardlow looks so cool.
More cool every week.
Yeah. The fact that he's got no entrance, he's got handcuffs, he's got security all around him. He looks so dangerous. He looks so scary, but also so cool. I love the way that this is being presented. I actually never want him to ever have. I want him to always be like this. I want him to have an entrance. I want him to be handcuffed and like have to be like an animal let out on chains. It's fantastic.
Like when they get the tea. They feed the T-Rex. I guess that's the wrong way round.
But yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, when they handcuff that goat.
Yeah, but okay, that's how you put his opponents in the ring.
Exactly. This was... and you know what? It's lovely that W. Morrissey, because he obviously had a lot of personal issues, and now he's back. He looks great.
Oh my God, doesn't he?
Oh my...
It's a hot bod.
It's a hot bod. It's a real hot bod.
Can't teach that bod.
You can't teach it. And yeah, it was a fun match. I was surprised at the finish because I didn't expect only one powerbomb, but I mean the right person won. So
yeah, I don't mind the one powerbomb. Of course, Wardlow usually symphony of powerbombs.
Yeah,
Morrissey took a lot of the match. More so than Lance Archer the previous week. And I thought Morrissey, big cast, by the way, if you didn't make the connection, looked great. And it was almost to me like Wardlow doing one powerbomb was almost like a sign of respect.
Yeah.
And it was impressive to get him up in the first place.
Yeah.
The only thing I would have changed would have just been to have a few spots leading up to that where Wardlow tries and he can't get him up.
Yeah.
Because then, like, when you actually do hit it, it feels like an actual struggle.
Yes, absolutely.
But there was a "we want Enzo, no we don't" dueling chant. And genuinely, both sides were as loud as each other.
Yeah. It was really
Do you want Enzo? It's difficult.
It's really difficult. It's really, really difficult. He is amazing on the mic. He's amazing on the mic. I don't think he should necessarily wrestle. I don't know. Do you want Enzo?
I think he's such a good promo. I think he's one of the best sort of non-wrestling performers in recent times. And actually, he can sell.
Yeah.
Because that's all he did in developmental.
Yeah.
He can really ragdoll himself around.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah. Luke genuinely thought it was going to be Enzo last week. That it was all a misdirect.
Oh, that's how you'd misdirect, is that you'd go for the teeny tiny man.
It's like, what? But why? Why do MJF wants to beat Wardlow? So after that, Wardlow... And what works so great about this feud is it's not just awesome week to week, but every week it's just a next progression.
Yep.
And here we got sort of the move into the final act, really, because Wardlow's had enough. He starts beating up so much security.
That was such a good... when the second batch of security comes in and he just starts beating them up too. Because you really expect at that point, okay, they're going to calm him down and they're going to restrain him. But he just beat them all up as well.
You can feel the crowd like getting louder and louder for it. And then MJF said, okay, you're going to get a match with me. If you win, I'll release you from your contract. But you have to agree to some conditions, which I'll announce next week in our contract signing in Long Island, New York.
Yeah.
Which is where he's from. Rhode Island? No, it is Long Island.
Long Island,
yes.
Rhode Island's a state.
And that sort of, that episode last year when he did his hometown show against CM Punk. One of the most fun bits I've ever seen in a wrestling show. So really looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to seeing what his conditions are to level the playing field, in a sense.
What conditions do you think?
I honestly don't know. I'm trying to think about what advantage he could... Maybe no power bombs.
So thematically, because as we saw in the Punk MJF feud, the microphone from the microphone and the handshake was set up right at the start.
Yeah.
And they wove that in beautifully near the end. So thematically, the bits they're hitting a lot is pig. You're a pig. So I don't think they're going to do like swine around the ring, mud.
Like the Kennel from Hell match,
yeah.
but with pigs.
But the handcuffs.
Yeah.
So maybe there is a handcuff element to Wardlow, and then you get the...
Yes. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah. We got the compulsory all the women standing in the row segment backstage.
Yep. Lovely stuff.
Already spoken about. Hangman Page came out for a promo next. CM Punk not in the building because apparently he was filming a TV show. And Hangman, you naughty little heel.
Yeah.
He was mean.
He was a mini babini.
What's going on?
He said things like, your beloved CM Punk. What's going on here?
He
become a beanie.
He said there'd be no handshake, no masturbatory Bret Hart match.
What were FTR thinking in the back? It was a great match.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And who doesn't like Bret Hart?
Yeah.
And then he looked at a fan in the crowd who was wearing a Punk shirt, and he said, "When I'm done with him, you'll want a refund for that shirt."
Yeah.
And it felt like, oh my God, Hangman is cutting promos on fans in the crowd.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a heel turn, far from it.
No.
I just think he's decided to position himself as a heel here.
Yeah.
The bad guy.
He's leaning towards it. It's weird. It's really, really. I didn't expect this. I thought, if anything, this was going to be the opportunity, and maybe it still is. Maybe the actual match will be for Punk to turn heel if they wanted to, or something like that. But maybe because he's been sort of always, constantly since he returned to AEW, sort of teasing the idea of turning heel, but never gone with it because the crowd are so with him. But yeah, well, I mean, it'll be interesting. I mean, if he actually wrestles, if he goes full heel, I would love to see a heel Adam Page, but I don't know whether I want more build-up than this. But yeah,
I don't know what the issue is between them besides the title.
Yeah,
but of course, Hangman did say he's probably off filming another TV show. Isn't that ironic? Of course, Punk said a lot of the same criticisms to those part-timers back in the early teens.
Yeah.
So we'll see where they go with this. But I must admit, I'm very intrigued. I didn't think this was bad or a misjudged decision at all. I'm very excited.
Yeah. It's sort of piqued my curiosity a little bit more.
Yeah. Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh cut a promo ahead of Rampage. Santana and Chris Jericho, I thought, had a hell of a match.
Yeah.
Sort of a blood feud, inner circle implosion.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot that the JAS and Eddie Kingston were a thing. I was just like, yes, Jericho and Santana.
Yeah.
I'm such a big fan of Santana. I thought he was really good in this.
He actually convinced me a couple of times that he was going to win, even though I was pretty damn certain that Chris Jericho was going to win. There's a couple of spots where I was like, oh, he's going over. I can't believe this.
But the numbers game, as usual with the JAS, overcame them, and Jericho low blow behind the referee's back and won.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a great match. Really, really fun. Seek this out. It's fun.
This would have been my match of the night had Martin and Fenix not had a bit after.
Absolutely.
Samoa Joe is coming for someone on Rampage. I didn't write it down.
It's
the DDT guys.
Oh, I don't actually know. You know what? I was distracted because he was holding his arm so weirdly.
Oh, was he?
He was holding it like this. And I was like, why?
He's a tough guy.
I'm a tough guy. My name, it's not how Samoa Joe sounds. My name's Samoa Joe. So unfortunately, I didn't. I got distracted by his weird arms.
I'm sure the chat is screaming at us what it is.
Almost certainly, yeah.
The Gun Club went
Lethal.
backstage to give the Acclaim some gifts, and it was scissors. And at first I was like, is that a threat?
Yeah.
But then, of course, the way the Acclaim shake hands is like that.
Of course.
And then they all started scissoring.
I was so confused. I did not put two and two together.
Yeah. Are they going to stab someone?
Because they were so happy about receiving scissors. I was like, what is going on here? But that makes sense. I like all of these people, so I'm happy with that. That's great.
I've just written stick it in there for the scissors. Now we got the House of Black Varsity Blondes thing. So Varsity Blondes are out in the ring. That's Griff, Brian, and Julia. And Griff's cutting this promo. And the crowd are dead. And the crowd are great all night. And it felt a bit WWE in that it just wasn't, it didn't feel like a normal person speaking. And they kept cutting to this guy in the crowd. I didn't write down his name.
I believe it's the Denver Broncos? No, can't be the Denver Broncos coach. He's a coach of the football team, I think.
Who has close ties with the Pillman family. And he just started talking about how he got advice from that guy. And then he just went from about a 5 to a 12 of intensity.
Yeah.
And he chose to do it on the word enthusiasm.
Not the toughest of words.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what are your 3 top characteristics in a job interview? I'm hardworking.
Yeah.
I've got enthusiasm and diligent.
Yeah.
So it's like,
imagine screaming enthusiasm.
Hardworking.
Enthusiasm! And I'm diligent.
So it was just, it didn't work. And then he calls out the House of Black because they've had enough. The House of Black appear. Awesome entrance as always.
Yep.
And then it just I don't know what, it just all felt awkward. Like everyone was waiting for someone else to do something.
It was very odd. There was even a moment where Brian Pillman should have went, like that. It's like, what's going to happen? And then they jumped him. But it felt like it really didn't work. I don't know whether the commentary sort of went, oh well, the House of Black have taken advantage of that moment where Brian Pillman's been and maybe that was all planned. But it completely undercut this incredible, scary entrance from the House of Black, and it made it seem like Brian Pillman was like, what are these guys gonna do? Kind of thing. And then they got beaten up, and it was very odd because also he just wanted to have a fight. Not a match. He wanted to have just a fight, which he then lost.
And it didn't even get started. They threw him out the ring. Garrison's on the ground, and I think Malachi gives Julia Hart a chair. And this is 4 or 5 months. Julia Hart's been walking around with this eye patch on, and everyone was like, "Okay, all right, okay, I'm not into this, but sure, I want to see the resolution here." And she's got the chair. And she's going to hit Griff Garrison with it. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe she won't. Maybe she'll hit Brody King.
Yeah.
And she doesn't do any of that. She just drops the chair and Death Triangle run down and chase off the House of Black.
Yep.
And then we go to a Jade Cargill Baddies promo. Then we come back to the ring and Dante Martin and Rey Fenix are about to have a match.
Yep.
And Julia Hart is still there.
She hasn't left.
But everyone else had left, hadn't they?
Yeah, everyone else has gone. Everyone else has gone. It was just her. She just was sticking around. But why? Why?
Yeah, just if they were trying something, it didn't work.
No. I mean, to be honest, it would have been really nice if they just pulled the trigger on the whole Julia Hart. Unless for the pay-per-view, this is a match, Varsity Blondes and someone versus House of Black, which I don't think is a particularly good use of House of Black, but there you go. Unless that was the case, and then they're going to pull the trigger on it then. But if they're going to add Julia Hart into the faction, which you imagine they would do, I imagine, because otherwise the poisoning of her mind kind of doesn't really mean anything if you could just hit someone with a chair and then it stops.
Yeah.
It's not really magic then. It's just, If they are going to do it at the pay-per-view, then I suppose, but they should have just pulled the trigger now. Would have been much better. Yeah,
it sort of deflated the crowd even more. But Dante Martin and Rey Fenix, it's the final Owen Hart Cup qualifier. And the crowd was still dead at the start.
Yep.
But they had such an insanely innovative match. To be honest, not to my tastes, because I usually prefer stuff with story and character. But this was so impressive.
Yep.
And particularly the one spot near the end where they do a Spanish fly off the top rope, land standing, but Fenix still has his hand round Martin like, oh, I hit that move. What? Huh? He's still there. Just insane. Like, it felt like that Kota Ibushi Will Ospreay spot where Ospreay just flips out of the top rope Hurricane Rana and is like standing there, and Kota Ibushi's there with that camera shot. Incredible match, and by the end, the whole crowd were on their feet for it.
Yeah, shouting, "This is awesome," which is absolutely correct. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was so good it made JR say "out quickened" at one point, which is not a word. But yeah, I love this match. I prefer, more character and story based matches, definitely. But Rey Fenix and Dante Martin are incredible, and I would love to watch them work together some more because they're great.
Rey Fenix for me last year was like one of my top wrestlers of the year, but he got injured and he lost that momentum. But since he came back last week or the week before, and now he's in the tournament, there's a part of me that just wants him to go on a tear and really sort of remind us that he's more than just Pentagon's tag team partner and brother, that he's a fantastic singles wrestler. I think he's better than Pentagon now.
Yeah. Well, I think so. I mean, do you know what? would be a really interesting, very different choice for the winner of this tournament. Somebody who I don't think anybody's guessing. He, I think, is on the same side of the bracket as the Joker, which makes me think that he is not going to be getting through to the final. But he would be such a fun winner to have. And I hope they keep it interesting enough that the Joker is not just somebody who's definitely going to get through to the final. I hope that they vary up their storytelling, but maybe in the first year they do it, they might just have it that the Jokers get through.
What would you give this out of 100?
This match?
No, this show.
Oh, this show.
That's all the show, by the way, folks.
Oh yeah, of course, because we've already covered the last 20 minutes, half an hour. Out of 100
or out of 5.
Out of 5 is easier.
Extrapolate.
Out of 5, I'd say this is. I think I might be being. Maybe I'm being generous. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm being harsh. But I'm thinking it's a bang-on 3-star show. Absolutely fine. I had an all right time. There were some good matches. There were some not as good matches. There were some fine promos. There were some very weird promos from Darby Allin's thing.
A special night.
It's a special night. Yeah, I give it 3 out of 5. I don't know what. I guess I'd give it 50 out of 100 then, but that feels harsher.
Well, 60 out of 100.
Yeah, 60 out of 100. Yeah. It's yeah.
I gave it 65%.
Wow.
So
let's see how it is.
Sully hates it more. This was the first episode of Dynamite that I ranked below the highest episode of Raw.
Wow.
I hated doing it, but
it felt like, you know how some people's title reigns are, they're a transitional champion. This felt like a transitional episode of Dynamite. We were doing this to get through to the next week, to the more interesting week, without much story progression. I think that's what people like, and that's why the best segment was probably the Wardlow segment, because I really felt like, even though it's a very similar segment to last week or the last time I saw Wardlow, it furthered the story in a really interesting way. Also, when you've got MJF just talking, that's always good, because the man's a genius. He's so good. So good on the mic. So yeah, I think that's a lesson. If AEW need to learn a lesson here, is focus more on the storytelling than just backstage segments where people say superlatives, because that's not interesting.
Yeah. Well, let's do our Patreon shout-outs before we get into your Omegachats.
Yes.
The Austin Nangano Escape.
Oh, hi. That Danish Mark. Hi there, Danish Mark. There we go.
NJ Hornsberg.
$100 Man, CD Halver.
Mad Mac, The Meat Father.
Ryan Disco Stewart.
The Kessel Run DX Solo.
Superkick Nick Mizesko.
Double L, Liam Leonard.
Abdominal Michael Abbott.
Spider-Man's greatest villain, Dr. Dark 7.
And Fantastic Mr. Good Old Fox.
Good old Fox.
Fantastic Mr. Good Old Fox. Great.
If you want to shout out on this very show, go to patreon.com/WrestleTalk. All right, let's do the rest of the questions from the document. Here it is.
Well, that's how you vamp, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Kajili says, hey guys, have we got to the point where, excuse me, AEW can't use the new girls on the block, and in the same period of time, WWE has made Paige, Alexa, the 4 Horsewomen, Asuka, Bianca, and AEW only made Britt in the name time, and get the fake Alexa off my screen, jam that jam. Also, with your comments on the women's division and how the tag champions are lost in the shuffle, is there a case for Tony being burnt out booking all of AEW and now Ring of Honor as well as running his other companies? The bots thing, another symptom of burnout.
Well, you know what? On that point, I met somebody who's worked with Tony Khan when I was out in America. But it was a personal assistant to Tony Khan. And he said Tony Khan is a lovely man, which I was not surprised at all. Not surprised in the slightest. He said he's really nice to work for. But what he said is He just does too much. He does too much. He's got a football club to run. Yeah. He's got an American football team to run. He's got now two wrestling promotions that he's booking all of these different programs for. I think that it would be great if he gave at least Ring of Honor to somebody else. That would be really, really, really helpful.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, because I do feel like my AEW has become diluted, and I want to protect that.
Yeah,
and I think the way to do that is for Tony to get other people on board. Maybe he already has. Maybe we're suggesting things that have actually already happened behind the scenes.
Yeah,
and actually those people just aren't great. But yeah. Temraza, I think it comes down to a mix of presentation that AEW does. Goes from an entertainment style to a sport, New Japan style. The ROH women's match was sport-based style, booked spot on the card. Oh, it was a sport-based style, book spot on the card. No sports entertainment story needed, just straight competition. I get that on paper. For me, it obviously didn't work.
Yeah.
And I could have seen that not working. So that's why I think it's a booking mistake.
Yeah.
Kokabian 131. Only 2-3 Ultra chats about the women's booking. Same amount of effort AEW puts into the division. Sully, what's going on with Chelsea?
Oh.
This is in the chat.
I'll give a quick thing about Chelsea. I haven't got a clue. It's a nightmare. It's very stressful. I just want us to be owned by somebody, please. There we go.
Not going to get a Kickstarter going? A couple of chums? A couple of Chelsea chums?
Honestly, if you guys could set up a Kickstarter for me to run Chelsea, all we need is £4 billion. That's all we need. Easy.
Brian Moore. The men's division had Omega, Moxley and Jericho to build around, while the new guys gain experience, where the women had all relatively new people, and like what Big Swole said, there's little help given to the inexperienced. It's kind of sink or swim on your own talent. Mark says, wonder if Hangman's attitude is due to the haters like Oli. I'm not a hater. The millennial cowboy sees everyone online saying it's time for Punk and assuming Punk wins. Now Hanger is making himself fiery and combative with something to prove to the audience, not just himself. I like that as a motivation.
Yeah.
You all think Punk's going to win?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Banana Whammer 7. 2 out of 5 show overall for me. Nothing too monumental happened, a few weak segments, and a mid-main event. I like to think the story with Hangman is he earns his title shot, overcoming insecurity, wins it by gaining confidence, and then loses it with overconfidence.
That's, yeah, very good. Very good, yes. Oh, I like that journey.
Yeah. But he's not sort of like underplaying Punk.
No.
But that is a cool story.
Yeah.
The Guilty Hat. To me, CM Punk fans have been the biggest heels in wrestling for the last 5 years. I take that personally. So go Hangman. You cut all the you people promos you want. Slightly more into the match now. Still want Punk as far away from the title as possible, but that's just me. Rodney Edwards. This is my first Omega chat, and yesterday was my first ever AEW Dynamite wrestling show, and it was great. I got to see Jon Moxley walk by me before he got jumped by the Butcher.
Great.
That sounds like you're properly in the splash zone of SeaWorld there, because Butcher just went, like attacked him from out of nowhere.
100%. That would be terrifying. Oh, that must be so exciting, though.
Riot DR, been in Memberg for 2 months. I love everyone involved in the story, but the revolving door of storytelling for the House of Black is ridiculous. Just saying. Mr. Gajilli, the reason why the crowd was dead during the House of Black stuff is because they know they are watching bootleg Alexa Bliss and need this to end. Julia needs to get another character. She's a heart. Use it especially with the Owen tournament. So Mr. Gajilli really, really feels passionately, because he says it a lot to us, that Julia Hart is a rip-off Alexa Bliss character.
Right, I see.
But I don't see anyone also thinking that.
No.
That's Mr. Kajili's opinion.
Yeah, that's fine.
Riot DR. Hey, yo. Dante versus Fenix was everything my inner wrestling fan swoons over. I swear gravity is only a suggestion to these guys. I also must say, Jeff Hardy, whom I love and respect, has the heaviest swanton going today. I'd still take it, but still. What a weird little bit at the end.
Oh, that's really good. I like the way that he said that.
Frank Botello would have preferred Dax versus Joe. Wish me luck on getting tickets to Forbidden Door tomorrow. Jam that jam. Good luck. So tickets go on sale tomorrow.
That's exciting. I mean, hey, can we all go out to Chicago and watch Forbidden Door?
Probably not.
Great. I'll watch it on the telly.
Here.
Yeah, probably.
Right in this room.
Yeah.
Live reactions. Go, C. Cabian 131. MJF has to release Wardlow and try to give him a 90-day non-compete clause. I love that story, but it would derail a lot of the sort of momentum. Edgar Carrasco, Memberg for 6 months. MJF is definitely going to love Oli and his hairline now that he confused Long Island, New York with Rhode Island State.
Oh, no, don't... MJF, because I saw that tweet from MJF, and I think Luke put it best when he said simultaneously ruining and making Ollie's day.
Yeah. The hairline one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're best mates. It's all we can just.
Yeah.
That's good. Just banter. P.S. I'm genuinely here for Jar Jar Brown. Jam that jam.
Thanks so much. Oh, yes. I forgot I was dubbed that the other day. Maybe not my favourite nickname, but there you go.
Jacob Smith. Listen here, Ollie, you handsome devil, you. I've been manifesting trios titles to AEW all year. Don't you dare sign them over to WWE on the Raw review when there's a perfectly good BCC right there. Also, hi, Sully. Wait. Pay no attention to the Sullivan. Yes, I think WWE should do trios titles.
Really?
Because AEW are so obviously going to introduce them.
Yeah.
It's just such a wonderful dick move.
It really would. It really would be. It really would be. Oh.
Plus, Jacob Smith has been pushing for them for like a year now.
Yeah.
Radu Tennessee, Memberg for 2 months. Hello, WrestleTalk. My first ever super chat. Good to see you. Can you rank the 4 pillars from best to worst? Mine is from number 1.
Yep.
MJF, Darby, Jungle Boy, Sammy.
At the moment, yes. I think a couple of months ago I would have put Sammy above Jungle. Maybe actually no. Jungle Boy was really good a couple of months. Both Jungle Boy and Sammy are flailing.
Interchangeable, aren't they?
Yeah.
But definitely number 1 and 2, MJF, Darby.
Yeah.
Some people consider Britt Baker a 4th pillar.
Yeah. I mean, maybe she's actually more deserving as we at the moment. I would say that she's a lot more entertaining. Yeah.
Sadie Deeganhausen. Hello, beautiful fancy boys. Hope you're both well. One of my favourite things to do during Dynamite is to think what the WrestleTalk title is going to be. And I really thought it was going to be Wangman Heel Turn. Still enjoyed the show. 79% just for confused Julia. Mark. The ass claimed have arrived. That's good. Speaking of 5-man groups, if AEW don't get full LAX, what if they took advantage of you to being in Best of the Super Juniors to free up Mox Danielson to join Kingston? Pro Wrestlers versus JAS plus Eddie and Mox have an established friendship.
That's very good. That's lovely.
And we've said from the start, JS, Sports Entertainment, Blackpool Combat Club, Pro Wrestling.
Yep.
It's a clash of wrestling ideology.
Yep.
That's good. Charlesburg, I'm allowed my hot takes. Maybe what I said was harsh, but it was funny. So I stand behind my Wish.com burn. I'd like to be known that I'm on the record saying I love AEW, and it's still a very fun show week to week, but the bad stuff this week was capital B bad.
You are allowed your hot takes. That is fair. And your Wish.com thing was very funny.
Plan R. As it stands right now, I wouldn't pay for Double or Nothing. There is nothing going on in AEW that I would pay $50 American for. An AEW pay-per-view is right around the corner, and I don't care enough to buy it. Hope they turn this around fast. Punk versus Hangman.
Yes. I mean, that match is going to be incredible. I think also the MJF Wardlow match is going to be great. I get that the whole card is not as exciting as previous AEW cards by any means. Also, I didn't realize it's $50 US. Whereas I feel like it's a lot cheaper over here.
Always has been, yeah. Like the old WWE pay-per-views. Here would be like 15, 20 quid.
Yeah.
But over there it'd be $50 generally.
Yeah, because it's 20 what? Yeah, it's about 15, 20 quid to watch an AEW pay-per-view. Very reasonable. That's fine. Bloody hell.
Cost of living crisis. Temruza, if they need a bad week to prepare for the next 2 big pay-per-view show runs coming up, then I'll be fine with it. The Joker excites me. Was a great Page promo, and I love Cole and Regal on commentary. Sully, UEFA final will be great. Double or nothing same weekend.
The Champions League final. Well, Chelsea aren't in it, so doesn't matter.
Also, New Japan is back and strong. Don Taku was great and Bullet Club is so damn good again. Forbidden Door tickets will sell out instantly this weekend. Building won't be empty like that Muppet said. Wardlow versus Cobb. GTS versus GTS. Oh yeah, Kenta versus Punk. Stardom, AEW, Impact, Joshi Pro Show, please. Matt Carney. To use a relationship metaphor, AEW has for a while occupied the role of the savior partner, saving us from the abusive partner that was WWE. We have given them a hero position. We are reluctant to criticize them and are hyper grateful. This is unhealthy.
You know what?
Damn.
I feel like you struck deep into my psyche there. That's yeah, you know what? There might be something in that. I mean, obviously that is a very real relationship dynamic. But like, there is something in us putting AEW on a pedestal, and as soon as they aren't necessarily perfect, we kick them way too hard,
or defend them way too much.
We defend them way too much. Yeah.
Scent of a Wookiee. I was hoping for a Julia Hart turn and for her to cut a promo on the blonde's possessive behaviour towards her. Oh well. Wardlow's really had to topple some giants these last weeks. Lucky for him, somehow MJF doesn't know handicap matches are a thing. That would have been bad.
Yeah.
Will Campbell. I think the issue with the main event is something I've noticed about certain parts of the overall wrestling fandom. Some people assume that everyone watches everything and everyone knows what everything and everyone are. I think Tony Khan fell into that.
He can do. He really, really can do. I remember it might be when The Butcher and the Blade was first introduced.
Yeah.
And it was, it was that classic thing of the lights out, lights up again. And then, as far as most casual fans were concerned, some random guys appeared with some crazy facial hair. And they started doing stuff, and that was interesting. But it was like there was no pop at all from the crowd. And so he can fall into that trap quite a lot.
Yeah. And the Ring of Honor announcement initially.
Yeah.
And I was surprised by how many people were just like, I don't care. I was like, oh yeah, you should have had like a video package to explain stuff.
Yeah.
Noah Fortner. I may have been high while watching Dynamite for the past few weeks, but I'm fairly certain I've seen the same backstage women's segment with Britt, Ruby, Jamie, and Tony for like the 4th time. Or maybe I'm just high. That sentence is a very high sentence.
Yeah.
You've said high like 3 times. Also, for some reason, that one backstage segment with the Ass Boys and the Acclaimed made me laugh and actually enjoy the Ass Boys for once. But again, maybe I was just high.
This guy's really high.
Yeah, well, you're really high.
You're really high. And you know what? Everyone knows. And you're going to be high forever.
Will Campbell. I know who Deonna and Mercedes are, but only because I've consumed hours and hours of wrestling and wrestling news content. There are probably a lot who haven't. And so that's where I think the booking last night fell flat. Totally agree. I mean, look, it's my job. I wasn't into the match.
Yeah.
I know exactly who both women are. I know their histories.
Yeah.
But within the context of AEW, they don't mean anything.
Yeah. It was a real shame.
Sadie Deeganhausen again. Back to say again that if Pillman was in the ring, Julia would have smashed him with the chair. I know my girl. Wish she'd joined them. Like, why wouldn't you want to join the House of Black? They're so cool. I need Hangy to win. Cowboy champ forever.
Yeah, I agree with all of that.
JS Wooten. Ollie, you are so out of the mainstream with this review that it strains credulity. If you aren't going to pay attention to any dark matches and continue to think that unless it's on TV it doesn't matter, you shouldn't be reviewing a product you don't understand.
I don't think that's
I don't watch
fair.
Dark and Dark Elevation generally, unless there's a really good match.
Yes.
But
I think that's what most people.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the sort of thinking that we were just criticizing Tony Khan for,
Yeah.
actually. And I know what's happening on Dark. I read the reports.
Yeah.
I know who's featured on there. I know there was a power cut.
Yeah.
On the tapings. No, that was actually Rampage. But like Cheeseburger's been on. I know why am I justifying myself to you?
Yeah, you know what's going on.
I think you're out of the mainstream, Chess. Hector Rodriguez, this was from yesterday's prediction stream. Guys, my Jam That Jam shirt just arrived. Also, Adam should put the titles on the table so they aren't heavy. Also, have fun, guys, with the stream Sunday.
Oh, thank you. I'm really very much looking forward to it. And yeah, I think I have a small chance of winning. Yeah, well, you know, I'll definitely be there.
We just had one last one come in. Fran Chili, I'm so happy right now that I just got my tickets for Forbidden Door. It does not matter how bad Ollie's takes on AEW are. Ollie, let the guys go to Chicago. I'll buy everyone lunch. Well, there you go.
That's one expense.
We're about $40 in.
It's one expense down.
Thank you, everybody, so much for joining the stream today. We've got Adam and Denise on the magazine show tomorrow, and SmackDown with Pete and SP3, I think, on Saturday. And then it's Sully and Adam, WrestleMania Backlash, live reactions. So subscribe to the channel so you know when those all go live first. But for now, I've been Ollie Davis. This has been Sully.
Yeah.
Bo Brown. Jam that jam.
Jam that jam.